So, we're gonna tackle something today because I'm tired of seeing the world the way it is right now. And I heard something beautiful today about Alexander the Great, but I kind of, my voice in my head remixed it, And it was like, you can't expect to get help from someone conquering yourself when you don't see anyone with the ability to conquer themselves. Okay. And this is gonna be like a 2-part series. I was taking a shower today, but I realized, like, we are brother's keeper, whether we like it or not. And they took that away from us. Everybody is so lost. Okay. It's so sad. I heard something this woman say. She was like, the expectation for a good man lies in the mistakes of a bad man. So it's sad we live in a society where it's just like, all I have to do to be a good man is not curse at him or put my hands on him. Okay. And the same thing can be said vice versa. Okay. Because I've been abused for so many years. And I realized the same thing, that my expectation for a good woman is the opposite of the not a good woman. And I realized, just based off of us being our brother's keeper, the fact that there's like 9 million people out there in the world who don't know how to read is kind of our fault. And I try to tell an old friend of mine about, I try to tell my brother, everybody in the hood, they don't want to listen. It's just like, people are being programmed in the hood. That's why they call it the hood. To get you to be just like the KKK. And the KKK people are just as innocent now that I'm looking in this situation. And it has, if you ask me, it has everything to do with the fact, not with the world wars, but the linguistic wars. Because the white people don't know where they're from. They just as lost as everybody else. You gotta imagine, if I go to the moon and I put a flag down, does that make me a Martian or still an Earthling? Okay. Regardless of which, people in the hood wear hoods. The KKK wear hoods too, and they got different colored hoods. Just like the people in the hood. Make it even worse, you wearing Timberland boots. They got the tree on the side. And purposely, as soon as you open it up, you psychologically abuse yourself because you're not even paying attention to the fact that there's a noose on the side right where the tree is. So if you really want to get down to, like, black kid, I can't really think of his name, the whole Nolan thing that's going on right now, it's been going on for years. And I understand that aspect of it, as far as like, while we watching TV and the people who play these drug dealing movies on the TV are abusing white people. Okay. And the white people in the Hollywood who doing the slave movies are abusing black people. And everybody in reality are paying for it. There's a reason why Michael Jordan signed to Nike. Nike backwards is Ekin, which is snake, which is why there's a snake on the side of the Nike symbol. Okay. And then it's not enough. You take Nike shoes. If you fold the middle, you'll see the horns. Don't make me buy a pair. Okay. And this is why everybody lost their way. And I see, like, man, like, this whole Nolan thing, I already know 50% of the comments that I see are of real people, and the other are just bots. I know that. Okay. Now, while taking a shower, right? Because I got this chapter in my book. I don't know if I got enough time, but I'm going to try. I had this vision a long time ago where it's like, you know, we lost. Okay. And like I had this vision with my voice where it's like it took me to the beginning of inside of my mother. Darkness. Okay. And if you take the size difference between the sperm and the egg, you see, like, voice in my head was like, which one are you? Are you the sperm? Or are you the egg? Okay. And what he did was, it was so weird. But it was like, I could see myself. The way I'm looking at myself right now, how I'm looking at the phone, I can see myself with a stick in my hand. Same concept. But I was the sperm and I was the egg at the same time. And that you have to understand, the size of the sperm is like the equivalent of Earth compared to the sun. Very small. Making me realize we're supposed to be doing something with the Earth. We're supposed to be covering it with something so it can be able to go into the sun and evolve. Anyways, when I realized, like, you know, I was taking a shower and the voice in my head was like, I understand why the Muslim people pray saying, facing forward to the ground. Because it's the same position of the baby when they're born. They're in the same position. And listen, I was a kid, like, I was a kid. I was having a vision of what showed me inside my mother, you know, praying like this. You understand? That's what if you look at the baby in the ultrasound, it's in a praying position, right? And it showed me, like, you know, my mother's spinal cord. And I could see, like, the rib cage. And everything looked so beautiful with the veins, right? And he was like, it's a prayer mat. It looked like a prayer mat. That's what you're looking at, your first prayer mat. Right? And as I look over and I see, like, the, you know, where the belly button is, it looked like stars because of the stretch marks and the hair. Okay, on the stomach. I could see stars. Okay. And he's showing me like the stretch marks on the stomach. Okay. And he was like, it's the Aurora Borealis. That's why it's shaped like that. That's why the stretch marks look like that. You know, like the mother ain't looking at it from the outside, not understanding how the child is looking at it from the inside. You understand? And he just showing me all of this stuff because he was like, you know, I already know women are going through it too. And you kind of like looking at life in the outside instead of looking at it in the end. You understand? And I love his voice. I didn't want to do it. I was taking a shower. Like, nope, I don't want to do this today. And he was like, no, you're not. I was like, you piece of shit. He started giving me all of this, like, motherfucker. So